Hello, and thank you for joining me here today at Empowered Wellness with Sheetal. I'm so glad you are here with me. And as you can see, I am dressed in my love outfit. And that was intentional because I'd like to talk to you today about love, and more specifically, how to connect with the energy of love when we may be in the midst of challenging, uncomfortable, yucky emotions and feelings. And so the technique or the practice that I want to share with you today came to me a few months ago. And at that time, I was just really struggling. I was really struggling with getting through the heaviness of my um, so-called negative emotions and feelings. I was feeling anxious, overwhelmed, doubtful, all of these things, which are essentially fear-based emotions. So, as you may already know, many wisdom traditions or spiritual traditions speak about how our negative or undesirable emotions and feelings are based in the energy of fear, and how our positive or desired, wanted emotions and feelings are rooted in the energy of love. And that's where a lot of our sayings of connect to the love to overcome the fear and love conquers all, that's kind of where that comes from. The idea that if we can tap into um, the feelings of love, the energy of love, tapping into compassion and joy and peace and hope, that those things help us overcome and get past those more challenging emotions that are fear based, the doubt, the anger, the confusion, the anxiety, etc. And so, certainly, this is something that I have learned a long time ago. And there are definitely lots of ways in which I have tried to practice that. I can usually come onto my mat to do some yoga. I can do some breath work, meditation. I can bring in affirmations. I can choose prayer. So there are certainly lots of ways that we can practice this concept of choosing love over fear or connecting with love in order to um, deal with the fear based experience that we may be having. That being said, I was really struggling a few months ago. And while these various practices were helpful at different times, what I felt I really needed was something um, more spontaneous, more on the spot, something I could do regularly and ongoing throughout my day that would help me with this process, with this practice of connecting to the love energy within in order to move through the challenging, heavy emotions. And I'm going to back up a little bit because, again, what I want to highlight is that we're not talking about not feeling the negativity or the negative emotions. We're not talking about brushing those feelings under the rug or pushing them down so that we don't feel them and somehow instead just, you know, becoming happy and shifting into a positive emotion. That's really not what I'm talking about. I think when we talk about accessing love to deal with the fear based stuff, we aren't talking about quashing the unwanted, undesirable emotions and feelings, but instead we're talking about how to sit with them, how to allow them and sit with them so that they can naturally dissipate and be released through whatever form of processing we may need to do. So, the practice that came to me a few months ago is a combination of mindfulness practice, which comes from Buddhist and yogic traditions, combined with a more modern practice of heart focused breathing that comes from the HeartMath Institute. And I have a link below for an introduction to the HeartMath Institute. But for now, I just want to share that they're an organization that has been around for quite some time, that has been doing some wonderful evidence based research pertaining to the intelligence and power of the heart and heart energy. So I learned this technique from HeartMath called heart focused breathing. And I realized that if I could use that technique in conjunction with my mindfulness practices, that might be something that I can do at any time, any given moment, on the spot, when I feel the need to work through my challenging emotions and feelings. So I'm going to share this with you today, and I'm going to guide you through a short practice of that. So the first step in this practice is to be aware when you are feeling these undesired, fear-based emotions or feelings. Notice when you're getting angry, when you're getting frustrated, when you're stuck in doubt or overwhelm. And that can be difficult if you don't already have a mindfulness practice. That first step could be a challenge. But I guarantee if you just set the intention to become more aware of when you are experiencing these fear-based emotions, that you will begin to notice them. And even if you don't catch yourself all the time, the more you practice and again, hold that intention of becoming aware of these experiences, the more frequently you will catch yourself feeling them. So that's step one, just become aware. Step two is to acknowledge that. Acknowledge that what you are feeling is a fear-based emotion or energy, and that's it. In fact, call it out. Say to yourself, I'm feeling angry, or there's that anxiety again, or I really feel hopeless. Whatever it is, just call it out. And in calling it out and just acknowledging it, right there, we create a little separation, a little detachment from that emotion, and we're less likely to identify with it. We're less likely to go down the rabbit hole and attach to the story or stories behind that emotion. So that's step two. Step three is to bring in heart-focused breathing. So as soon as you acknowledge, this is what I'm feeling, start breathing. Connect to a nice, smooth, rhythmic breath. And as you breathe steadily, fully, smoothly, bring your attention to your heart space. So this is about taking that nice, full, smooth, even breath. So the physiology is taking that full breath, but the psychology, the intention, is coming to the heart. So as we take that smooth, full breath, we bring our awareness to the heart space, connecting to the heart chakra energy, and imagine that we're breathing from the heart. So we're intentionally breathing from the heart as we move the breath fully in and out of our bodies. And so that's step number three, is continuing to do the heart-focused breathing while we allow ourselves to be in that space of anxiousness, doubt, anger, whatever that fear-based emotion is. So basically, we're sitting with the emotion. We're allowing that negative emotion to exist without pushing it away, but we're working with the heart-focused breathing so that we can let that negative energy, that negative emotion, that fear-based energy soften or dissipate. It's almost like we're applying a heart balm on our injury or our pain, right? So when we get hurt, when we're feeling pain, we apply some soothing balm. So when we Recognize that we're in pain due to these negative emotions, that we're suffering due to the fear-based energy that we're experiencing. Well, let's apply some of the heart balm on that. And when we apply the heart balm, when we do this heart focused breathing while acknowledging the pain we're feeling, the suffering, the emotion that we're feeling, that negative emotion may not go away right away. Just as when we put some sort of balm on a cut, the sting may not go away right away, but it softens, it gets soothed, and we're able to be with that pain. We're able to be with the discomfort without pushing it away, without stifling it. And it naturally subsides, it naturally releases, it naturally eases in its own time. And that's part of the processing of uh, fear, of fear-based emotions and energy. That's how we use love to overcome fear. So that technique has been so helpful, has been so powerful for me over these last few months. And it really helped me when I was struggling. It really helped me sit with those negative feelings and emotions, to sit with the heaviness, um, and allow it in a way where I felt supported by my own heart energy, by my own loving energy. So I'd like to guide you through a little practice of this right now. If you'd like to stay with me and experience it, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. And you could be sitting in a chair, or you could find yourself on your meditation cushion or on your yoga mat, whatever is comfortable for you. And I invite you to take a few deep breaths to start off. Just take a nice big full breath in, and then sound out, sigh out, big full breath out. Do a few of those nice big full breaths to start. And then I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes and connect with your breathing. Just notice your breathing. So just to start off and just to get some experience with this idea of heart-focused breathing, I imagine for some of you, this may be very new. So as you connect with your breathing, just begin to find a smooth, steady rhythm. Nice smooth inhale, nice smooth exhale. It doesn't have to be really deep. There's no particular way in which you have to do this, but find a comfortable, smooth, steady flow. Trying to make it as even as possible. Nice even inhale, nice even exhale. And once you find that rhythmic flow, I then invite you to bring your attention to your heart space. So continue to flow that breath in and out, using the diaphragm to take the full breath in, full breath out. Some of you might be familiar with belly breathing. Maybe that's what you're doing here. But as you continue to breathe in that nice rhythmic fashion, bring your attention, your awareness to your heart space. And now imagine that the breath is flowing to and from your heart. So this could be done simply, intentionally, by focusing on the heart space, by connecting with your heart chakra energy. Or perhaps you visualize, you actually use imagery and visualize your breath flowing to and from your heart. So it's really as simple as that. Just flowing the breath in and out of your body, but imagining or intentioning that it's moving from your heart, from that heart space. So now I'd like to have you try to do that with your eyes open. So just find something to focus on, something to gaze at. And then with your eyes open, again, begin to take those nice, smooth, rhythmic breaths. Just find an easy flow of breathing. And then bring attention to your heart space. And from that space, breathe. Breathing from your heart space, smooth, steady, flowing breaths. So for some of us, especially if we're used to doing breath work and meditation with our eyes closed, it may feel really uncomfortable or just really odd to do this practice with our eyes open. But I invite you to do that more and more. And the reason is because then it becomes easier to bring this technique into our day-to-day lives and to use it on the spot, so to speak. So when we're having a difficult conversation or when we are in the midst of something happening, a situation that is becoming uncomfortable, or we are experiencing something undesirable, something that we don't around us is undesirable, whatever the case may be. In that moment, we can bring in this technique. We can do it on the spot, and it can be helpful. So in order to practice that, what I'd like to do now is invite you to think of something that may have happened to you recently that was uncomfortable. Maybe you had an argument recently, or maybe you were caught up in the midst of some sort of uncomfortable situation, or maybe there's a memory that always brings you discomfort and causes you to move into those fear-based emotions. Whatever it is, just bring that up for yourself as part of this practice. And when you start noticing those fear-based emotions, maybe you're starting to feel anxious, or you're starting to notice a little bit of overwhelm or frustration or anger arising as you recall this uncomfortable situation or experience. With that, I invite you to acknowledge it. Step 2, call it out. I'm starting to feel anxious. I'm starting to feel angry. I'm really feeling uncomfortable. And begin breathing. With your eyes open, take nice, full, smooth breaths while allowing yourself to feel the discomfort. And begin the heart-focused breathing, your attention moving to and from your heart, the breath flowing to and from your heart. So just take several breaths here to practice this technique where you are acknowledging the uncomfortable, negative emotion or feeling within you, and you're breathing through it by using heart-focused breaths, applying the heart balm on that discomfort, that mental, emotional discomfort. So let's take one nice big full breath here. Maybe let it go, sigh it out, sound it out. Ah. So how was that for you? I hope you were able to have an experience of what I've been trying to describe to you. And if not, it's okay. We can start with, again, step 1, just becoming aware of those fear-based emotions and feelings when they arise. And we can then slowly progress into step 2, acknowledge them for what they are. There's that fear-based energy. There's that anger. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling hopeless. Whatever it is, just call it out. And as you call it out, breathe. Breathe nice, smooth, full breaths. Step 3, start bringing in heart-focused breathing. Start bringing awareness to the heart space, accessing the power and the intelligence of the heart. As you're taking those full breaths, doing that heart-focused breathing as a way of applying the heart balm on the mental, emotional pain or injury that you're experiencing. And in this way, we can practice in a very accessible, practical, in the moment way. We can practice accessing love in order to move through, be with, process our fear-based, uncomfortable, yucky, messy feelings and emotions. So I invite you to keep practicing. I encourage you to share your feedback down below in the comments. And I hope that this is helpful to you. I thank you again for taking time to join me today. Sending you much love. Until next time, be well.